My name's Vicky and I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 2010. I had flu 10 years ago and I was really bad with it, and as I got better the cold symptoms actually left, but the flu symptoms that were the cramping and the tiredness and the aching never ever went. And I went to the doctors a couple of years after because I just thought it was normal, and the doctor said he thought it may be fibromyalgia. So I had tests to rule everything else out and I found out that I got it. I'd never heard of fibromyalgia, never heard of it. It's just something that's not in the papers, or you don't hear about anybody that's got it. I had to go out and find out about it myself, and when I went to the hospital for a consultation, he basically checked all these different points on my body. They're called checkpoints, so if you get sort of 11 out of the 13 that hurt when you press them, then it's fibro. And the consultant literally just said, "You've got fibromyalgia, here's a leaflet, bye," and that was it.
So what kind of medication and treatment do you get for it?
I'm a bit weird with the treatment because with fibromyalgia there is a chemical intolerance with a lot of people. So a lot of people, they'll go on gabapentin and things like that. I can't actually go on that because I'm allergic to that. I'm allergic to naproxen. So the only things I can take are amitriptyline, cocodamol and ibuprofen.
And how often do you have to take those?
I have to take 2 amitriptyline every night, but the doctors are kind of might have to up that because my pain levels aren't going down very much, and 8 cocodamol a day.
So how has it changed you as a person?
It's completely changed me, completely. Before I had fibro, I was really active. I used to like going running. I used to do a lot of running at school. I loved jogging. I've done a parachute jump, I've done abseiling, I've done all sorts of things. I was a bit of a adrenaline junkie, and now I can't do any of it. Even walking now, it kills to walk.
So what would you say has been the hardest thing about having fibro?
For me, I feel that it's the fact that I'm letting my family down with a lot of the things that I can't do, because I know my family are very active and they'd like to go out for long walks and do all the things that I used to do, and they want me to join in and I can't do that, and then they feel guilty because they don't want to do it because they know that I can't do it. And just the hardest thing as well is trying to explain to somebody how you're feeling and that you're in pain all the time, and because you can't see it because it's what they call an invisible illness, they can't see how bad you are at all. So you know you're ill, but nobody else can see it. They can't see how bad you're feeling. There are hundreds and hundreds of symptoms of fibromyalgia. There's actually like too many to mention. The main ones are chronic pain in all of your joints and your whole body, a burning sensation on your skin which feels like you've been in the sun, or that somebody's got sandpaper and just rubbed sandpaper all over your skin. The worst one for me is the feeling that someone's pulling on your joints and they're pulling all of your joints out of the sockets, or your toes, your fingers, your legs, your arms. Nausea and IBS are also symptoms. Chronic fatigue. It's not just like being tired, it's utter exhaustion where you don't feel like you can even put one foot in front of the other, and your arms ache just from cleaning your teeth. It feels like you're lifting up a brick.
I'm Kirsty and I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 2012 when I was 15. So I've also got ankylosing spondylitis, which is like an arthritis in my spine, and when they were doing the diagnosis of that, they were looking into different things and fibromyalgia was mentioned, but it took about 3 or 4 years after that before I actually had the diagnosis.
So what would you say has been the thing that's affected you the most? What is it most changed about you?
I think just the actual things that I can do as a person. So, like I used to be a dance teacher and I've had to stop doing that because I just physically can't do it anymore. And it's just it's just a life-changing thing where there's just so many things that I can't do which I used to be able to do, and I just feel like I'm letting a load of people down.
So did you know what it was before you had it?
No, it was mentioned to me briefly in a few appointments when they were looking at other things, and then when I had my diagnosis, they pretty much just said that, it sounds like you've got fibromyalgia, and they left it at that.
So did you have to go out and find all about what it was yourself?
Yeah, I had to do all the research and sort of try and find different places where I could find information about it. I wasn't sort of told that it was a chronic illness at the time, so everything else I had to do myself.
So what would you say has been the hardest thing since you've been diagnosed with it?
Probably just dealing with the amount of things that change, the amount of times that I feel like I'm letting my partner down because he has to look after me. And people not understanding it, I find that quite difficult.
So do you feel that you're supported enough by doctors and the government?
No, my GP is really good, but I see a lot of consultants for health issues and none of them really take it seriously. I've been really belittled and told that there's nothing wrong. I've had some consultants laugh at me because obviously when I was teaching dance they didn't see how I could have this chronic illness and still be dancing, so they just sort of ignored it. And government-wise, I know there's things like PIP, personal independence payments, but I've always been encouraged not to go for them because I wouldn't get it apparently.
So how does it affect you in your work?
So I work as a nursery nurse as bank staff because I'm also a student, and I just find it really difficult to do sort of 9-hour shifts, picking up the children and playing with them, getting up and down off the floor and stuff, and so I tend to just carry on throughout the day, and then when I get home that's when I really suffer with it and I can't do anything else, but otherwise I won't be able to work.
So do you feel there's anything more government and doctors could do to help?
I think maybe make it more aware to other people so that for example when you're in work you don't have people sort of asking you to do stuff because they don't believe you. If there was more awareness from the government about the condition, then I think people would take it more seriously and realise the different things that you actually need to be supported.
And what advice would you give to people who think they might have the illness?
I think definitely go to the doctors and try and get a diagnosis because it always helps to know what's wrong. But I think the main advice is try and find other people that have it, because speaking to people that actually have it and understand you is so much better than somebody telling you something that they have no idea about.
I have been really mentally affected by this because I was so active before I got it, so every day is waking up in pain, and I have felt like what's the point in carrying on, because there's just no let up. It's day after day after day after hour of chronic pain, and the worst thing is knowing that it's never going to go away. It's always going to be there. There's nothing that anybody can do, just keep pumping painkillers into you all the time. The doctors tell you to exercise, but when you've got chronic pain you can't do that, and if you do, when I've had a day where I feel like yes I can actually exercise today, I'm shafted for the next couple of days because I can't move. So I don't like travelling too far because of the fear that the pain will get to an unmanageable point where I'm going to end up collapsed and crying. I am on fluoxetine, which is an antidepressant, and I do find that helps to some degree, but it's something that I don't really want to be taking. I don't want to be on painkillers for the antidepressants for the rest of my life. To live with, it's a constant fear of being judged. I have to psych myself up for the day. Working's really hard as my job is physical, so it literally is get up, take painkillers, antidepressants, go to work, more painkillers, come home, more painkillers, nap, make tea, take more painkillers, go to bed, start again. It's just a constant cycle of painkillers that don't really help. A lot of the time as well with the painkillers that I take, they'll make me feel quite sick. So you're having to deal with the nausea on top of all that as well. And all I want to do is just curl up into a ball and sleep. And obviously being at work, you can't do that. So I have to put on this brave face and smile and be happy, jokey Vicky, but inside I just want to curl up in a ball. And that's all I want to do. I have seen films where they've kind of taken the mickey out of it. There's a scene in Identity Thief where she throws herself on the ground and she says, "Oh, my fibromyalgia." Yeah, it's not quite like that. It's a case if you don't throw yourself on the ground and you fall on the ground because your legs aren't working and you're screaming in pain. But it's things like that, you know, that stick in people's minds and they think, oh, fibromyalgia. So that one where you throw yourself on the floor and go, ow, it really isn't. It really isn't.